Hey guys, welcome back. BGC Gear here. We're back with our weekly recap of all things Injustice. This is for the week of January 13th, 2022. The current character challenge is Regime Hawkgirl. That is a 1 week repeat. The required characters for that are Catwoman, Lex Luthor, and Doomsday, who are bronze, and silver respectively. So if you have the stats to beat the challenge, you probably already have the characters, or you definitely have the resources to buy them.
Right.
Her passive is Shock and Awe, which is when Hawkgirl tags in, she disables all opponent special attacks for 5 seconds, and if she gets 200% on special 2, it will become a critical hit. She has 1,100 attack and 1,000 health. She was last available on the 18th of March 2021, but she hasn't been around very frequently.
So it's interesting.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit about the meta part of the challenge cycle. But there was a point where she was one of the rarest challenge characters. She'd shown up and then disappeared for the longest time. And now she's shown up in the current 43 character cycle.
Yeah.
And she's shown up again. And if anything, depending on what happens next week, we will be crying not about her, but about all the other characters we end up missing.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about Hawkgirl first. She's not the best card, right? Her base damage, base health, they're way behind the more recent challenge characters. And again, not a huge surprise. She was gone for a long time. She's got an interesting passive because... Alright, so here's the thing. If she gets 200% on her special 2, it would become a critical hit. That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to get 200% as long as you start tapping where you know the circle will appear before it does, because if you wait until the circle appears, because it actually shrinks a little bit faster than some other characters, it can be a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, I guess part of the problem is that, with your relatively high percentage criticals, anyways, if you've max augmented them, it's not as much of a bonus as, damage might be.
Maybe. So here's the thing. I think Tantu Totem gives you 40%.
Mm-hmm.
So if she doesn't have Tantu Totem and she's only got her augmented 50%, then the other gears don't do a great job of increasing your crit chance.
That's true.
So we're not talking about basic damage, but just special 2. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's not awful. The part that's not that great, I've never been a big fan of disabling specials temporarily, since what happens is they might not be hitting you with the special, but you're not taking it away from them because they're just building up more power, so that unless you knock them out, they'll have a bunch of power. They'll be ready to hit you. And 5 seconds, it's not a huge amount. So let's say you have Regime Hawkgirl. You tag in, you disable their special. Mm-hmm. If you don't knock them out in 5 seconds, how does that help your fight? You do a little bit of damage. I don't think that the tide of the fight has changed. If anything, you've let them build up to second bar.
Yeah.
So they're more likely to hit you with a higher special.
It only really helps if it's something like Killing Joke Joker, or, Shazam, where they're going to have like an artificial amount of power, and you can stop them from using their sort of already accrued power, so they're not generating any more, or wasting time on an ability clock, but that almost never happens.
So you're talking about somebody with 3 bars or Shazam's unlimited.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think if it's going to make a difference in the fight, if you want to make the most of her being able to disable specials, you need to be ready to take out your opponent fast, which usually means having power when she tags in so she can drop some specials.
Yeah.
Because otherwise the damage output isn't going to be big enough.
So there we go.
So the biggest thing is now, so there we go about Hawkgirl, but the biggest thing now is, so now we've completed the 43-week cycle the second time around. Mm-hmm. So what's going to happen?
Yeah, we have no guess for what next week is, and we have for the past almost full year.
So and I've got a hope, I've got a wish, but if the pattern holds and you just repeat the cycle, we're going to get Lucia Urbane, which would be
suck.
The absolute worst outcome. Absolute worst. And there's so we sort of promised our Q&A. I messed up the schedule, so it will be coming in next Q&A where we talk about who's missing, who is potentially going to be available, and I really, really hope, I really expect it won't be Lucia Urbane, because the way they've been correcting other cycles, where they eventually got it right, I think this is the last one they need to fix.
Yeah. So we'll see, is long and short of it. And hopefully it'll be somebody totally new, and that'll indicate a new cycle. And then we'll, fingers crossed, get everybody.
Yeah.
This week's multiplayer reward is Astro Force, which becomes... it's Astro Harness, right?
Astro Force, which becomes Astro Harness.
Astro Harness, sorry. I always get those mixed up. And so the ability is, on any special attack, applies electric damage over time, dealing 10% of special damage for 5 seconds. On lethal hit, that's a lethal hit on you, the person who has the gear on.
Right.
75% chance to trigger Power Shield that will absorb damage up to 40% of max health. And then the evolved ability, which is invulnerability for 5 seconds at health thresholds 100%, 50%, and 10%. It was last available on the 10th of June 2021. We had 54 weeks of uninterrupted going through the 32 reward cycle. So we've done the full reward cycle once, and then 22 of the repeat of the cycle so far. And we expect Quake Engine to be next week.
Right.
Bless you.
Bless you. That's our cat
sneezing.
Our cat sneezing. Yeah. He's interrupting our filming.
Okay.
So the same way that last week was a good defensive gear, this week is a great defensive gear. This is the platonic ideal of a defensive gear.
Mm-hmm.
The first two abilities are decent, but not particularly special, right? So 10% damage per time is not defensive. It takes 5 seconds to complete. It's okay. 75% chance, not even 100% chance. So 75% chance to get an extra 40% health is okay.
Yeah.
But 1 in 4 chance you're not going to get it.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't compartmentalize. So that means...
It doesn't work like a revive.
Right. So if you've got 1 health left and somebody deals enough damage to be worth 41% of your health, you get knocked out, even if the 75% chance triggers.
Yeah, so for example, like a Batgirl, if she's like stunned you and hit you with like a first special, there's a good chance that if you were at low health before, that you're just going to be dead, even if you get it.
Right. So the real key to this gear that makes it super special is the invulnerability for 5 seconds. 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And so tanks are basically meat shields. They can absorb damage, or they just don't even take it.
Mm-hmm.
And what they can do even on the modern teams is they give time for a special specialist to tag out, wait until they can tag back in, and that's a pretty universal strategy in the Tantu Totem world, because if you don't do enough damage with your special specialist who's carrying Tantu Totem,
mm-hmm.
then they don't get their power back. You need to tag out to get your power back. Otherwise, you're just flailing around. One thing I like to point out, and I think I point it out every time Astro Harness comes up, is the best slot for your Astro Harness character is typically not in slot 1.
Yeah.
Because it gives you total control over when your invulnerability is there. Because if you just have it at the front, invulnerability starts right away.
Mm-hmm.
And it might not be useful, but there is something real sweet when you can tag in Astro Harness against 3 bars of power, like you were saying about
mm-hmm.
Killing Joke Joker, and have nothing happen.
Yeah.
They just waste time, which is not great, but it's still...
It's better than getting hit by 3rd special, because that time is gone no matter what.
Right. And they're blowing 3 bars of power, and it's even better when it's your opponent's carrying Tantu Totem, because they don't get their power back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the store, we have the Sorcery Pack for $24.99 Canadian. It was $26.99 the last time it showed up on the 6th of February of 2020. It comes with Zatanna, Raven, and Kondak Black Adam. So, not good. Right. Raven's good. I think out of the 3, Raven's the only real sort of...
Star.
Yeah. But, not the worst, not the best. Okay. Never worth the money.
Yeah. Okay, can I point out the next pack?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is really interesting to me. It's another Survivor pack that's worth 670,000 power credits, which is the most power credits I think a Survivor pack has cost.
Yeah.
It comes with Mortal Kombat X Scorpion, comes with Scorpion, and Bounty Hunter Lobo.
Mm-hmm. And
the reason why it's interesting, because it's been more years than we've been tracking. We've done recaps for a while, but it's further back than we've been tracking. Part of me thinks this was maybe the original Survivor pack that came out, because we've had a bunch of recent ones.
I think it specifically was, and because we talked about it, it was supposed to be that people voted on it.
Yes.
And we said, who voted on Bounty Hunter Lobo to be in the Survivor pack when it first came around?
Yeah.
So this was the original one, I'm pretty sure.
So the argument I would make, having had years to think about it, is that all 3 are damage over time specialists. Bounty Hunter Lobo especially, because it'll ramp up the more times he does successful special too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when you're doing Survivor, there's an advantage of damage over time in terms of being able to scale up your damage to stronger opponents.
Yeah.
And I do want to point out, too, that the recent Survivor packs, we had one November last year that was only 585 credits, but it also had Teen Titans Cyborg and animated Harley Quinn, who were both in the store.
Mm-hmm.
Not great. And animated Batman Beyond. Then there was the one for 595,000 credits in October.
Mm-hmm.
There was Arkham Origins Deathstroke and Batgirl and Containment Doomsday, which was pretty good, even though people like to crap on Containment Doomsday.
Yeah.
And then there was one in September that was Killer Frost, Wonder Woman 600, and Killer Frost Regime, also for $5.95. Not that great for, Survivor.
So there we go. In the store, we also have the character bundle Flash TV. That's its second week, so we won't go through it again. We have the Batman Universe character bundle for its sixth week. And we have the Most Wanted pack, which is starting to seem like it's a permanent fixture.
Yep, 13, lucky 13.
Yeah, we also have the Aquaman Celebration pack for the 300th medal, Chance of Aquaman. That's his first week, so we'll be celebrating him for the next week too.
Yeah.
And in our Survivor, we have the League of Assassins gear set until the 26th of January 2021. Phantom Zone is finished.
Yep.
Fight 62 is still broken.
Yeah, last weekend's breakthrough was, as we expected, Cyborg, Batgirl, and Black Adam. This coming weekend is probably going to be Deadshot, Wonder Woman, and Static. Link in the description. Thread in the subreddit started by one of the mods, Delvin16, that goes through the entire breakthrough cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And current glitches. So, reminder, every working glitch is explained in a video as part of the playlist that you can reach by clicking the eye in the top right corner of this video. We're Android only, and specifically Android 9, so we can only confirm these glitches for Android 9. And because you can see what you can do, sometimes what we like to do, not sometimes, every time, we like to start with what you cannot do that people ask about or that used to be possible but is no longer possible.
Mm-hmm. So nothing for power credits. There was a method that people talked about a while ago, not sure if it's still working. We're not willing to endorse. We talked about it on Season 6, Episode 9 of our P&Q and CNANT. No point harping on that, though.
Right.
There's nothing you can do to get repeated past multiplayer season rewards, getting early multiplayer season rewards, getting through the Phantom Zone quicker than is possible. It's just good strategy, and that right now our record is 8 minutes and 20 seconds for that, so it's already pretty fast.
Super fast.
And getting free energy without having to watch the free energy video is not working. You either have to watch the video or get your energy from somewhere else. No freeloading.
So some minor commentary on the working glitches, because the working glitches, they are tutorials, really. They do everything, they tell you everything you need to, but just some minor comments that you want to know. One is that the challenge reset method works. We've confirmed it on current Hawkgirl regime challenge. Just remember, it resets all progress. When Phantom Zone is out, like it is this week, it doesn't matter. When I say out, I mean it's not active. But when it is active, just remember it's the same glitch. So you're going to be resetting progress on both at the same time.
Yeah, if you're on Android 10 or you're on a version of Android that requires you to re-download a lot of data, every single time you do the glitch, we have a comment from Tanmay Kakde in the description with instructions on how you can use extra device storage instead of downloading it every time.
Right.
And just moving files around.
Right. Breakthrough glitch, let you play over and over again, still working. Airplane mode / refund glitch is still working, good for packs with random drops and last laugh tickets. Basically any random packs or any random drops where you do not need to be connected to the internet to get the rewards.
Yeah. So there we go.
Yeah.
Time shifting still works in Android for unlimited Survivor play and energy recharges. As always, return your clock back to normal after you've gotten sort of those timers refreshed.
Yep.
But before you go on playing as normal, because it can potentially mess with your reward schedules for stuff like Survivor.
Yep.
Mm.
All right. And the last thing is, it's not really a working glitch, but it's not really a not working glitch. It's a promotion glitch because it requires specific conditions even when it was testable and active. Those conditions haven't been back for years, so we can't test it. It hasn't failed us, but chances are you're never going to be able to do it because, well, they've just changed the circumstances so that the conditions just never come out. But we'll remove it from the list when it fails us for the first time, when it should be working.
Yeah. And to finish up, we'd like to give a huge thank you to all the lovely folks who support us on Patreon. So that's Victor Gomez, Consul Peasant, and Edwoon at the top tier last word, Sinemac and Mohammed Albshaiti at the Your Message Here tier, Shawn, Farrell, Daniel Simonson, Aaron Maule, Michael DeVries, Brandon C., Irvin Ruiz, and Eddydoo, who are supporting us on the credited level, and Chris Wolff, Scarlet, Dani, Awesomegamer241, Pavu RS, Gavin, Mallott, and Isfar E., the gratitude level. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Komoda.